What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Noah Cavanaugh, and today we are going over a topic that you guys have been asking for a very long time, grip socks. This is going to be the ultimate guide to grip socks. I've had several of these pairs for over a year now. I have tested them, I have put them in games, I have put them in training sessions, in the gym, in normal day real life. We're gonna talk about which ones are the best for your value, which ones are the best on the market, which ones you shouldn't buy, and then of course we'll go through and rate each one of these so you guys can figure out which one you like best. Let's hop straight into the video. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of a different type of testing. I'm gonna tell you about each one of these pairs. I've got 6 with me, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out into my hallway. I've got very slick concrete floors, and I'm gonna show you what it's like to slide with a normal pair of socks, and then we're gonna go through and test each one of these for a slip test, and then of course we will rate each one of these as far as comfort, quality, the like. As you can see, a lot of these are very beat up. I have gone through and tested each one of these in several different games and training sessions, so hopefully this will be super helpful for you guys. I'll leave as many links as I can find for these down in the description box below so you can go and buy them for yourself. If there's a particular pair that you think would be great for you, you can go do that. I'll try to find them on websites that give discounts. Some of these are pretty expensive, which is really annoying, and that's something that we'll factor in today. Okay, so the brands that I've included in this, and the reason that I only have 6 pairs as opposed to the 50 different pairs, is because these are the ones that I think are different enough from each other to warrant a comparison, and these are more of the bigger brands. So of course we have the Trusox, which are an OG. We have Falke, which is an amazing pair. We have the Pure Grip socks made by fellow YouTuber and boot reviewer. His name is Josh, and he's from SR4U, Soccer Reviews for You. So that's his personal grip sock brand. I've got Liteguard, which is worn by players like Dani Alves and other. I've got TapeDesign, which recently has gotten super popular. There's a lot of Premier League players who wear these, and then other professionals around the world who wear these, and they've got kind of this rubber element on the bottom. And then these are the Tokyo football socks from a company out of Singapore who have sent me these to review. This is not a sponsor video or anything, but I'm gonna review these because I think they're different enough as well from the ones that are on the table already. So that is 6 major brands. Hopefully you guys know some of these at least, or have considered some of these, or maybe have worn some of these, and I want to give my opinions on which ones I think are the best. All right, so we will start with the Trusox. So Trusox come in a whopping $45 a pair. These are the cushion variation. You can get them in thin and in cushion. They have definitely grip elements on the outside of the sock and the inside of the sock. So if you don't like grips directly touching your foot, that's definitely something you need to consider with these. The grips on these almost feel like a felt pad. So it's small felt padding that you get that when it gets sweaty and when your foot starts to warm up, they stick to your foot essentially, and they are very, very sticky. I find Trusox to be one of the most grippy of the elements, so their technology is really good. As far as the socks go, I would say they're decent quality. Everything above the ankle is very standard. You can get this in a Nike store for, you know, 15 bucks, everything above the ankle. Below the ankle, obviously on the bottom of the foot with the grip elements, it's a little bit more durable on that material. On the top of the foot, you have material that's pretty standard, to be honest. It's nothing really special. I don't think the material of this sock is worth $45. What I do think is worth maybe somewhere close to the $30, $35 mark is the grip on this, because it is really special. It goes all the way up the back of the heel, and it is on the inside, which I actually prefer quite a bit. I love having grip both on the outside and the inside because I feel like it helps my grip even more. So that's kind of an overview of what the Trusox are. Until very recently, when they revamped their website, these were very difficult to find. You could buy them on websites like soccer.com, Unisport, sort of the big massive companies that sell equipment from all over, but the Trusox brand website is now revamped, and I will put that link in the description box below for you guys so you guys can go pick out a pair. They are very comfortable. I don't mind them for football wear. I don't think I'd wear them for gym. I wear them for runs sometimes, and they are good. They provide a lot of grip, but to be fair, in running shoes, I'm not really super concerned with grip because they're supposed to fit a little bit looser than football boots, and obviously you're not pivoting, you're just doing sprints or you're just doing running, that kind of stuff. For normal day-to-day wear, I would not wear these. I don't know if some of you wear grip socks for normal day-to-day wear, but I would definitely not wear these. They are just really grippy and sort of a very specialized need. For me, and because of the price, it knocks the rating down a little bit. And the durability I think is good, but it's not amazing. I would give these a solid 7 out of 10. All right, fam, so here is the Trusox on feet. They do have a couple holes in them, but that is my own fault because I've used them so much. Pretty tight around the ankle here, as I mentioned before. Little bit slidey, so that's all right. As far as on a slippery surface, they're pretty slick. However, because of the difference in the way that these fit, because of the felt, that felt material, it's gonna get really, really sticky when you put it with the bottom or the inside of a shoe, especially when it gets kind of sweaty or wet. So that's something to consider. Again, the grip is phenomenal in these. I just don't think the quality of the sock is worth all the hype because they do slip down like that so easily. It is not the highest quality sock. So grip test, obviously on flooring, probably like a 2 out of 10. They're about the same as a normal sock, if not a little bit more grippy. But once you get them in a football boot, they are much better and definitely worth that for the grip. Next up, we're talking about the Falke socks. Now, J-Mike from Unisport has talked about these a ton. I'm not actually sure where this brand is from. It's probably somewhere in Scandinavia or Germany somewhere. They are, in my opinion, some of the best on the market. These ones come in pretty expensive. These Falke socks come in at $49.95, so these are like $50 a pair. As far as compression goes, so these particular socks, Falke socks are built on compression socks first, and then they put the grip elements in them. So what that means is that these socks have graduated compression throughout the entire sock, which is why they're so expensive, but you're getting the highest quality material in my opinion. And I have had these for almost 2.5 years now, and there are no holes in the toe, there's no holes in the heel. The grip is still super grippy. I mean, that's 2.5 years of solid wear is incredible for a pair of socks. They have a little bit more padding on the ankles right here on either side, and then it's really, really thin sock material both on the top of the foot, right? So on the top of the foot, the dorsal side of the foot, and then coming up here. And what you see compared to something like a Trusox, where there's a clear difference between the material from here down and here up, this entire sock is one graduated compression, and you can see the different stitches. So clearly a lot more thought gets put into socks like this. Falke is also a company that makes other types of compression stuff. So they make compression for skiers, they make compression for like socks for skiers inside of ski boots and stuff. So their technology is not only, in my opinion, reputable as a sock brand, but they also create really, really good products and really quality products. So for me, that $50 price point, albeit being a little bit steep, I think is absolutely reasonable for a sock of this quality, because $50 for 2.5 years of proper use, like I've beat the hell out of these and they have stayed so consistent. The shape has stayed the same. I've washed them obviously a million times and they have been, you know, there's a little bit of balling on the material in the end, but like that's such a small price to pay for what these actually are. So for me, these are a 9 out of 10 sock. All right, guys, here we have the Falke grip socks. As you can tell, obviously this part's a little bit loose, but that's to get this on. Everything from here down is really, really tight around the ankle and the Achilles area, which I love. As far as grippiness goes, they're definitely better than the Trusox, but they are not as super grippy on this slick surface. Because the grip elements are a little further apart, you do have a little bit of slide on the outside of your foot, but the grip elements for the most part are really awesome because they have them inside and outside. And as you can see, because of how thin this material is, it does wrap your foot so well. You can see those ankle elements here, which provide a little bit of padding, and then you've got that ribbing up the back of your Achilles for some protection, and then of course the grip elements that come right on the back of the heel. So these are a very premium pair of socks. They feel amazing. The compression you get from these are bar none, other than the Liteguard socks that we'll try on in a little bit. These are a fantastic pair, and I absolutely love these. Next on the list, because they are a little bit similar to those Falke socks, are the Tokyo football socks. Now these are the most least expensive socks on the list that I have. These retail for about $14 US, $13 US, and they are from a company in Singapore. As I mentioned before, they sent me these socks. I have never heard of them before, but they said, hey, can we send you these to review? These are the first edition that they've sent, and for me, these are pretty good socks. I'd say the sock construction quality is probably about average or just maybe under average. I don't think it's an insane sock quality. They do fit pretty well. I'd say everything above the ankle is a little bit loose in my opinion, but again, these are geared mainly towards, or I was told these are geared mainly towards sort of the average footballer whose legs might not be, you know, pro footballer defined kind of thing. So if you're either younger and don't have a lot of body fat, or you're not just like a Sunday league player, you're more of a competitive player, these might fit a little bit looser, which for me is a non-negotiable. I can't do that kind of stuff. The grip elements are very similar to that on the Falke socks, except these have already started falling off, and I've worn these particular socks about 5 times now, I'd say. A couple training sessions and 2 different games. For my UPSL. So these, again, quality, not great, but for a $15 price point, yeah, I guess. I think the material of the sock itself is actually pretty good. It's pretty comfortable. Definitely the material on where the grips are is getting a little bit rough already, and it's only been 5 washes. So again, quality, price point, you kind of have to mix the two, and we'll talk about that with the pure grip socks a little bit as well. As far as just overall, I think it's nice having, you know, socks on there and the TF logo. I think they're a bit big, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of huge logos, especially if my sleeves or whatever come to here. You can see kind of the bottom of that, and that's not really aesthetically pleasing. I'd just like to see white, because that's the color that I like to wear, unless of course we're forced to wear the color of the particular team, in which case these only come in black and white. So that's something to think about as well. So bottom line with these is I think they're comfortable. They're good, actually. I really like these walking around because they're not super tight. So just walking around in normal day-to-day life and in the house, I actually love these. I think they're great for like an everyday sock, and for the gym, they're great for playing football in them. They're also pretty good. The grip elements, I'd say, provide a suitable amount of grip, not as much as the Falke, considering how similar they are on the actual grip elements themselves. These little like rubber dots or plastic dots that come on the inside and the outside of the sock, which bonus points for that. But I think as far as a competitive football sock, I think the quality has to be better on these in order to even justify a $13 price point or a $14 price point. I think these really have to be a higher quality in order to not be $5 or $6 a pair, right? So you really have to think about that as well. So I'd give these a solid 6.5 out of 10, maybe even a 6 out of 10. I'd say 6 out of 10. Let's go 6 out of 10, because these are just not, I don't think, the quality that I'm looking for as a professional footballer. All right, fam, these are the Tokyo football socks that I have on feet now. Again, pretty poor quality, especially above the ankle. You can see, even as I move my ankle like this, it does already come down a little bit, which is really obnoxious. They're pretty low, so they're not as high as I want them to be. I'd like them to be at least like midway from my calf or right below my calf muscle. Obviously, it depends like how high your calf muscles are, but as you can see, coming through the wash, they're really pretty low quality in my opinion, but they're decent for a $13 sock. They're pretty good. It's the cheapest ones on the list that I have. Grip elements are okay. I think they are really grippy. As you can see, my foot's not moving at all, and that's like really sliding. So the grip elements are great. They just fall off really easily, which I think is kind of annoying. I have done a really good job of trying to wash these and not dry them. But obviously if they're still falling off, that's something to consider as well. There are grip elements that go a little bit up the heel, which I do appreciate a lot. So as you can see, they come up about halfway through the heel, which is just fine. Lots of grips on the bottom, which is great as well, in all the right places, which is fantastic. So as far as sock quality goes, pretty low, but again, as a $13 sock goes, you're not gonna get the craziest quality. But for 13 bucks, I think these are, you know, reasonable for most people. And if you can handle this sliding down a little bit, or if you can put tape there to hold it up a little bit underneath your shin guard, then it'll work great for you. Next in line, as I mentioned before, we are going to talk about the Pure Grip socks. Now, these are the Pure Grip socks Pro, which are only $2 more expensive than the regular Pure Grip socks. I've tried both, I've tested both. I'm doing these just because they're only $2 more expensive, and because of how these are priced at $16.99. The regular Pure Grip socks are priced at $15.99 or $14.99, so it's only, $14.99. So $15.16 US dollars. I think this, you might as well just pay the $2 for the upgrade, because the sock quality difference is noticeable. And to be fair though, both are great. So if you can't spend the extra $2, get the regular ones, and this review will stand the same for both, because I do think that both are really good. So as far as sock quality goes, it's a really simple ribbed upper above the ankle material, so it's not like a graduated compression or anything like that. Again, for $17 though, this material is really nice. If you see how thin these are compared to those Tokyo football socks, which I'll grab right now, as you can see, look at the difference in how wide they are, right? So way more compression, even though it's not like compression. This is still a great amount of solid feel around your foot. The grip elements only are on the outside. They are a rubber element that comes in these little triangles designed for the left and the right foot separately. So the way that it basically is in a way that your foot moves. I think it's a little gimmicky. You could probably wear the left on the right and the right on the left, but oh well, you know, they're designed for that reason, and so I wear them on that reason. I would say for these types of grip elements, I'm okay with there not being this grip element on the inside, specifically because they're so large. Oftentimes when you get sweaty and are wet on the outside, they do slip a little bit, but because they're on the outside of the sock, it's not too much of a problem. You've got the Pure logo on the back there in the white and black. Obviously this is the white version. The one benefit of these is they come in a ton of different colors. So if you're in a league or in a location where it's really difficult to, you have referees who really harp on the fact that you have to have the same color undersock as you do sleeve, Pure Grip Socks actually has pretty much every color, or a color that's close enough that you can kind of tape it and it'll look fine. That's one huge bonus for the Pure Grip sock brand that I think is awesome. So as far as fit of the sock, as I mentioned before, above the ankle, really, really good. Below the ankle, also really good. I've had no problems with durability. I've had these since I was in Australia, and I feel like these have been a great sock to have. The Pros I got right when I got back, so I've had these for almost 5 months, and other than little turf pellets, there is nothing wrong. I see absolutely no holes coming in. They fit really well. They have a great grip. The value proposition of these is actually really stupid. It's really, really good. So I'd say for me, these are an 8.5 out of 10 as far as quality goes, as far as value proposition goes, pricing, all that stuff. Very, very good football socks for the price and the quality. All right, guys, these are the Pure Grip Socks Pro. These are some of my favorite socks on the market, not only because they fit really nicely and they've got some really great snug fit right on this Achilles area above the ankle. They've got a really thin material where your toes are, so it's not as super hot. It allows your toes to sort of breathe a little bit. And then the grips are really good. I'm moving my foot as best I can, forward and backward, trying to slide it, and these are super sticky. I love that they have grip elements up the heel there, which is awesome as well. And then it's got grip on the bottom in all the right areas that I need, especially in like this toe area, the like knuckle of the toes, and then of course on the back. So fantastic value. Great job on the stick test, and they work fantastic in boot as well. These are an awesome pair of socks for the value and a great proposition for most players out there at all levels. Next up, we have TapeDesign. So TapeDesign, I'm not actually sure where they're from, but I've seen a ton of the TapeDesign logos in Premier League players and in players around the NPL in Australia and USL here in the US as well. So I've seen, again, lots of players coming up with these TapeDesign socks. Very similar to Pure Grip socks, these have the rubber elements on the bottom in really no particular design. So I think you can wear, yeah, there's no L or R left and right on these socks. So you can wear these interchangeably, which really doesn't make that big of a difference. I mean, it's a less than half a second look L or R. Okay, put it on that foot, right? So the TapeDesign socks come in at $34.99, which is pretty steep for what these are. Everything from the ankle above is that tube design. It is really thin though, like the Pure Grip socks, which I really appreciate because again, it hugs your, like right below your calf and your Achilles really nicely. Doesn't offer any like proper compression, but these are, excuse me, a very, very good quality sock above the ankle. Below the sock, there's a little bit of use. I've only had these for like probably a month, I want to say now. And it's starting to fray a little bit. Quality's not the best. It is pretty good though for what they are, although a $35 price point is steep for this type of sock, for this quality of sock. Very, I mean, it's basically like they took a really basic Nike sock and threw grip elements on the bottom. So for me, these are definitely not, I would buy the Pure Grip sock, which is half the price and a better quality sock than this. That's at least my opinion. The grip elements are pretty good though. So they do offer some really nice grip. They are that same rubberized, black rubberized material. I'm not actually sure what the particular material is called, but it is pretty good. I'd say as far as grip goes, I'd rate it like a, I don't know, 7 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. So it's good. It's just pretty average. I use these for training. I will never step into a game with these because I just don't think they're good enough. And then as far as an overall rating for these, I'd give these probably a 6 point, no, these are like a 5 out of 10 to be honest. I'm lowering my rating because of how expensive these are. I don't know why they're $35 for this because their margins are crazy. And I think a Pure Grip sock is a better quality sock and it's almost half the price of these. So 5 out of 10, probably the lowest on my list. Average. They'd be great for like gym workouts and going for a run, but I'm gonna buy the Pure Grip socks, so I'm gonna wear those over these any day because of how expensive these are. All right guys, next up is the TapeDesign. One thing that I do like about the TapeDesign is how high this part goes up your foot, and they are really pretty snug. Obviously I push those down a little bit, but I do like how snug this is. This sock construction is almost identical to the Pure Grip socks, and for double the price, that's why I don't think these are worth it. The other thing that I don't appreciate is that they don't have grip up the heel, just on the bottom and on the top end of the heel here. The grip elements are really good. I'd say for grip test, definitely on par with those Pure Grip socks, but again, for a $35 price point, these definitely aren't what I'm looking for. Pure Grip socks at $15 or $17, depending on which element you get, which variation you get, are definitely a better price point to consider. So that's why I'd say don't go for these, go for the Pure Grip socks. But as far as grip goes and as far as fit and feel of the sock, I'd say they are very, very good, definitely above average. And I do really like how compressed I feel above this ankle area. All right, last sock on the list, we have Liteguard. And as you can see, there's a massive hole in the ankle of this one. I have beat the crap out of these as well. Very, very similar to the Falke grip socks. These are also designed as a compression sock. So they're designed in a graduated compression. So as you can see, super, super tiny. They are really thin. These are the thinnest socks in this list by far. The grip elements are really interesting in these, and there are some interesting parts of this sock that I want to go over. So you've got these interesting little, and the Falke has these as well, but they've got these little ribs on the back of the Achilles that provide a little bit of protection from hits. As for how much we use these as footballers, the bottom part of the sock from the ankle down, the foot part, is so incredibly thin. That's probably why these tore so easily. To be fair, I've had these over a year, so that's something to consider. But these are really fantastic. I love Liteguard. The grip elements are not quite the same sticky black material. They're a little bit more matte, and they're really hard to understand. To get that over camera. I'll try to get, obviously you'll see close-ups of these as well, but they're not quite as shiny and sticky as something like a pure grip sock. So that's something to keep in mind, but they do provide some really good grip. I'd say grip-wise, these are a solid 7 or 7.5 out of 10. I really like these. They don't go up the heel though, so that's something to consider. It's just on the bottom. And then they've also got grip elements. This is really interesting. Not on the inside, but on the inside of the ankle. They have these clear jelly, not jelly, but those almost like a glue. It's almost like someone put the hot glue in dots on the inside of the ankle. So it holds your ankle, like the ankle pieces, right on there, and maybe that's for protection. I don't really know. But as far as the sock goes, these are awesome. So Liteguard socks are $39, so 40 bucks in the United States. It's a bit expensive, but again, in my opinion, they're worth the price because they are so good. Again, I've absolutely beat the crap out of these. They do have that giant hole and they are falling apart because I've used them so much. These were the socks that I used in the NPL last year before I got injured, and in the season before that. So again, I've worn them for games, training, everything. I had 2 pairs. One actually ripped because I just used them so often. So $40 for a pair that'll last you 2 years. I still wear these all the time. I think that's I think that's okay for one pair, especially, maybe you have 2 pairs for training, 1 pair for games that you only use for games or whatever. Then they'll last you at least a whole season, if not more. And the hole that happened here was a freak accident. I got swiped with somebody's stud, and it just ripped from there. So it wasn't like an overuse thing. It was simply just studded into the sock and it tore. Bummer, So as far as rating goes, for me, these are a solid 8.5 or 8.75, just under a 9 out of 10. I think these are really, really incredible. All right, fam, here are the Liteguard socks on feet. Again, excuse the fat hole on the inside of my right foot. I got cleated there, and it definitely left a mark on my skin and the socks, so yeehaw. So as far as fit and feel goes, these are phenomenal fitting socks. They're so thin. I love wearing Liteguards to break boots in because they are so thin, especially in this area here and then through the foot. They're super, super thin. This is ridiculously high quality, ridiculously thin, and it wraps your foot really, really well. So as you can see, there are those little bands on the back, and then the grip elements as well, which are fantastic. Really good. As far as on the sticky surface, again, they're not super grippy. I'd say they're maybe on par with the Falke ones. So definitely a little bit of slide on a floor, but once you get them in a textured boot, especially with some of the grip that some of the inserts on the boots have nowadays, these work so well. They're really grippy. I love how they fit and feel. And again, some of the highest quality, equal to those Falke as far as quality of sock goes, and the ability for this compression. The compression on these is definitely worth what the money you pay for them is. So that's what these are. Liteguard, awesome pair of football socks, definitely would recommend. All right, fam, let's hop straight into the hallway slide test. Let's hope I don't absolutely eat crap when I'm out there, and I'll show you guys actually how grippy they are when I have them on feet, and then we will wrap up the video. All right, fam, thank you so much for joining me for this video. So final verdict, we have 2 winners. We are gonna do a best value proposition, and we are gonna do the best socks for grippiness and fit on the market, bar none, no price cap, no nothing. So you probably already know the answer to this question. Pure grip socks are the best value for money, for quality, for fit, for feel, for the amount of grip that you get. It's up the heel. It's 16 bucks, 17 bucks for a pair of these. I can buy 2 pairs of these Grip Socks Pro, Pure Grip Socks Pro, for the price of, say, a Liteguard pair or a pair of the Falke, or even the TapeDesign, which is a worse pair of socks for double the price. Crazy. So value proposition, Pure Grip Socks, it does live up to the hype. Josh from SR4U, fantastic job. Thank you for these. These are awesome. And yeah, definitely a pair to grab if you are on a budget and you want a really, really good pair of grip socks. All right, fam, so you probably know, given the ratings, what the two pairs of winners are if you can get your hands on a pair of either of these, the Falke and the Liteguard. Both of these socks are very, very good. In my opinion, some of the best on the market. I would say if I had to pick one over the other, I would pick the Falke, just because I like how the grip elements go up the back of the heel and into the Achilles, and I like the way that this fits and wraps your foot a little bit more, but again, it's such a negligible amount. I would take these any day. That's why I have both. I use both on a regular basis until I get sponsored by one or the other or a different brand. I will be using both because I think they are fantastic. So again, Liteguard and you have Falke. These are my winners, 9.5 out of 10s. They are awesome. They're both a little bit pricey, between 40 and 45 US dollars. But again, if you can get them on discount, I would get as many pairs as you can because they are a fantastic investment for your footballing career. All right, fam, that is it for the video. Thanks so much for joining me for this huge analysis of all the best grip socks on the market. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you like content like this, hit that subscribe button. I post twice, if not 3 times a week, every single week of the year, and like the video if you got value from it. If you want to see more stuff like this, if you want to see gear reviews, boot comparisons, definitely hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you guys want to see. As always, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.